مرحبا بكم في برنامج أعمال الشرق الأوسط.
Welcome to Business Middle East. This week we discuss the slumping Japanese economy. After a short period of growth, the third largest economy in the world has announced its return to recession. It seems that the policies of Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to revive the economy, known as Abenomics, have not been bearing fruit, as this is the second slide into recession since he came to power in 2012. Today, many questions are being raised about the effectiveness of Japan's continuous quantitative easing programs and about the impact of last week's developments on the yen and currency trading in the Arab region. Let's take a look at the details, then I'll be back to discuss. The Japanese economy shrank by 0.2% between July and September, as government data showed last Monday. Several reports have suggested reasons for the slide, including reduced spending at Japanese companies, leading to a lack of wage increases and a shortage in investments promotion, as well as lower demand in China. However, according to experts, the main reason is the sales tax hike that the government imposed last year, and there's a plan to increase it again next year. On Thursday, the Bank of Japan confirmed there'd been no change to stimulus policy. For Bank Governor Haruhiko Kuroda, the commitment now is to try to reach the target inflation rate of 2% as soon as possible. That's a sign that the BOJ won't hesitate to ease monetary policy if necessary. Japanese stocks closed slightly higher last week. The Nikkei index rose by 1.4%, extending gains for the fifth week in a row. However, after the Bank of Japan meeting, the yen rose against the international currency basket on Thursday and Friday, gaining 0.9% against the US dollar, 1.19% against the euro, and 1.24% against the British pound. The yen also rose against the MENA currencies on Thursday and Friday, including rising 0.8% against the Saudi rial and 0.89% against the UAE dirham. For more analysis on the Japanese economy and the impact on the yen, joining us as every week is Nour Eldeen Al-Hammoury, Chief Market Strategist at ADS Securities in Abu Dhabi. Despite the continuing quantitative easing program, Japan has slid back into recession. Why?
That is what we've always been warning about, that the continuation of the quantitative easing programs for too long will have a negative impact. The quantitative easing program in Japan is not new. It has been happening for more than 15 years. In spite of that, it hasn't been successful in supporting the economy as planned. This has been due to many reasons. The first reason is the nature of the Japanese consumer, and the second one is the economic reforms. The government is trying to change the economy towards a consumer economy, and this is very difficult in Japan.
What are the challenges facing Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in achieving his Abenomics?
Going back into recession for the second time in the Prime Minister's mandate is considered a failure already. Besides, what the government promised has not happened. The economy has been suffering for more than 5 years now. Will we witness a change of government? I don't think so. But there will be no more rises in the sales tax as planned next year. In addition, it is quite possible that we might begin to hear about the possibility of a government resignation, because this is the second recession during the rule of this government, and it is the fourth consecutive recession during the past 5 years.
Japan's central bank has decided to keep its stimulus policy unchanged, despite high expectations that it would step up its quantitative easing program. Why do you think that is?
Yes, there is a very high probability that the Central Bank of Japan would prefer to wait for the decision of the US Federal Reserve in December before making any new resolution. Besides, the yen is still in the preferred area by the bank, against the US dollar at least. Now, what if the Fed moves in December? Then we do not expect any new move by the Japanese Central Bank. But what if the Fed postpones raising interest rates? In this case, we expect the Central Bank of Japan will intervene within 2 days of the Fed announcement to maintain the yen's weakness.
نعم نور، ذكرت مسبقا أن الين الياباني.
You've been a believer in the yen as a safe haven for MENA investors. With the developments of the past week, do you still stand by that opinion? And can you elaborate a bit on how the yen has been trading in the Middle East?
العملات في منطقة الشرق الأوسط.
نعم كما ذكرنا في الأسبوع الماضي نعم لا زلنا نرى أن
As we mentioned last week, yes, we still see the yen as a safe haven currency in light of the continuing rise of the dollar. Despite the recent moves, we still see a high demand for the yen over the past period. And even with the latest figures, we are receiving high demands for yen across all our platforms, in the Middle East and in Asia and in Europe as well, which explains why the yen is still considered a safe haven currency. There's also something else that's very important. Since Black Monday, the Japanese yen has been the second most stable currency in Asia after the Chinese yuan, something that has attracted the attention of traders in the Middle East and which is clearly what keeps up demand for both currencies.
وهو الشيء الذي يعيه المتداولون في الشرق الأوسط بشكل واضح وهو أيضا ما يبقي الطلب على كل من العملتين حاليا.
شكرا لك نور ونلتقيك الأسبوع.
Thank you, Nour, for joining us. That's all for now. You can catch Business Middle East episodes on our YouTube channel and on our website at Euronews Business. Thanks for watching and see you next week.
شكرا لحسن المتابعة ويتجدد الموعد معكم الأسبوع المقبل.